Hi guys, I'm Uncle Richie.
Yo, what up? J Money's back.
And this is C10. And you're listening to the Uncle.
Great job, guys, with this podcast, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. I know you and Uncle Richie discussed a little bit about the muscleize, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that, man. What did you guys discuss?
Amazing boys, eh? Last year playing with them I was telling Richie about it. That was the best thing I actually did, to play with the boys and jump in, and the whole thanks to also Kenny to introduce me to you guys. So. And this year was also awesome. Like, I feel like I didn't come full strength because I had things that I wanted to do preseason and all that, training with like I told Richie about Cup, and I was slowing down. I was just thinking about not getting injured and just slowing down a bit. But I feel like I didn't put everything, but I just wanted to be there for the boys and just have my presence there. So
100%.
Which I don't know if it was needed anyway, but
Man, no, that like honestly, I can feel like your presence really has brought that quality of the game, especially for the team, has brought it up to a good level. Everyone sort of rose to that level where you yourself and Kenny played together a season, and then bringing people like Stanford last year. That quality of the game has definitely gotten better for the team. But I think my highlight that I want to mention is obviously last year I watched online from Sydney, and it was just a halftime chat. I think there was something about the halftime chat. I remember. You could hear people actually from I don't know if it was the ref's mic or something was picking up, but you could hear all the guys like literally puffed and puffed, man. I just remember Ben 10 coming in with these words. He was like, guys, all the energy, empty the tank. And I was literally getting goosebumps, and I was like, what the hell? Like, that was crazy. And then I just remember everyone puffed, and you literally said, guys, just give it your all, give anything. And then there was silence for like 2 seconds, man. I knew the champ, like the literal, like something just picked up, and then obviously the rest is history because, we got through with that. So I think that was something to be brought up. But again, that brings me to ask you about, your leadership, your, that greatness that you brought out in the team.
Yeah, wow.
We see that a lot in that podcast that that we're going to talk about soon. The rise to eternal greatness, or infinite greatness. Forgive me, yeah. The rise to infinite greatness. Rig, tell us about that.
Oof, yeah, man. Every time people say that word, I still feel goosebumps because I feel like it's not real. It's not real. That idea that was in my head came out to now where it is now, like reality. Like, it's not that big yet, but something that. My intention about doing the Rise to Infinite Greatness. Funny story. I'll tell you a story how I actually did find Rise to Infinite Greatness. So I was going through a moment in time in Sydney, through a lot of stuff back in PNG that I was experiencing. Like, I had a breakup and I came down to Sydney, and that was really hard. And I was going through a lot of mental struggle. And I'm not ashamed to say this now as a Papua New Guinea. This is Uncle, and people promote talk about things that are real. So I love this podcast, by the way. I went to a place where I nearly killed myself. So I nearly suicide, and I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to stay here anymore. I was like, what's going on? Why is my life turning upside down? And why is my relationships like this? And something that I built for a long time. So coming out of this, like, I try to pick myself up, and that space, like, to cut short, I was really chubby, I went out and started to do something for myself, for my body, and I said I didn't want to carry that weight and play, I don't want to be like a chunky. How would I have confidence? How would I get the girls, So I mean, for a fat guy, what's that? Like, not anything with fat guys. I love fat guys, But what I'm saying was, like, I didn't like the way I looked, So I needed more confidence. So I said, you know what? Let me do something that I've never done. And I said, I tried 2 times killing myself, but it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, I'm not good at that. So I was like, okay, I went out and, gymmed for 8 months. I was like, I'm going to do core. I'm just going to do work and core. I want 6 packs.
Yeah.
In the season, end of the summer, I want to walk out with my glasses on and then walk out in front of everyone and say, yeah, all right, baby, I got a 6 packs, So, and that like, speaking, like, I only said that and it became reality. After 6 months, I had 6 packs.
Yeah.
I did what I said. I journaled about it. I meditated about it. I visualized about it. I did all those things about personal development. And just to have that ego of putting 6 pack out there for people, but that ego actually turned out to be something positive along the way. So coming back to Rig, funny story. I was working at the doing landscaping, and I was working at the cemetery. So I was doing landscaping, cutting people's the cemetery up, the cleaning and all that. And I was like, wait a minute. What if people are dying like this and they don't have the second chance to come back? They can't, like, their dreams are also dead. The things that they want to do is also gone. And I'm like, man, I have the opportunity now to do the thing, the dreams that I want to do. Do I want to end up like this? And I sat down and I stopped working. I was thinking about it for a long time, and I was like, what if they had the opportunity to rise back up and do the things that they wanted to do? And I was like, wait a minute. What if I can do the things that I want to do because I'm alive? What if I have that dream and I've been running away from it? Let me rise back to the dream that I wanted to go, or the truth about who I am as a person. Then I was thinking, what can I say? And then putting, in that week I was putting things together, and I was like, let me call this the rise to infinite greatness, because we all have this infinite greatness in us, and people always fear that place to walk in, and looking at that, we don't have the second chance to come back and do that again. And I was like, everyone that has this infinite greatness, why can't people step into that and rise again? So that was the inspiration about looking at dead people and starting to say, let me rise back to I'm dead. I feel like everyone's walking with a dream and a goal in them, but they feel like they are scared because of 9-to-5 jobs, or their parents are saying this, all those society things putting on them, and people don't want to, go towards their dreams, and everyone's holding back, and it's like, let us rise back to our infinite greatness, because that's our infinite greatness. So that was the inspiration. So yeah, sorry,
man, that was hey. Guys, Benton, right here. That's some awesome stuff, bro.
Yeah, wow. Thanks, man.
That's some beautiful inspiration right there, definitely. And you can. I'm pretty sure you guys, some of you have seen his show out there, his podcast, the Rise to Infinite Greatness, and as he said, 8 months, 6 months, what a turnaround. So, man. You kind of got me a little bit like in goosebumps, and
people feel like that when I talk. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I've been blessed, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And we're blessed to have you on the show again. I have to say,
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, wow. So that was where you got your inspiration from. Now, that was a landscaping job.
Yeah,
around the cemetery, cleaning up someone's grave,
having to chat with dead people. Yeah.
Hey,
turned out to be something else. So thank you. Shout out to all the dead people.
100%, guys. Everyone's dead out there. Listen, wait, guys, 100%. That's something really special, and I think every one of our listeners would appreciate that. So I'd like to also touch on just with leadership again. So you've got that podcast. We discussed off the mic some of the plans you have for next year. You don't have to disclose everything, but what can we expect, say,
Oh,
Yeah, in the next sort of 6 months. Or?
yeah. Nah, that's awesome. That's a really good question. I haven't actually talked about it in more, to everyone. Kenny is the one because Kenny's that's something me and Kenny wants to put that together, and I'm asking Kenny to because Kenny is you talk about leadership, and Kenny has that leadership in him, and I saw a lot of young boys that leadership quality. It's just the right people to be around them to tell them what they have and don't have and what they can do and what they can push beyond their limits. So I mean, for myself, Rick, I'm actually building audio at the moment. I would love to actually do a video like you guys are doing, episode. I'm also building that platform and that stamina towards that video by doing reels and all that, and I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
I only do the things that I enjoy.
Yes.
I'm putting myself in a space where I'm not saying it's an uncomfortable thing, but I love that. If you asked me 3 years ago to stand in front of a camera, you crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, so what I'm trying to do is I'm also trying to build a mentorship because I feel for a lot of men, bro. I don't know, but I feel for a lot of men, and in my life, personal life, and I try to steward a lot of young boys around, and I feel for our men are going and out there suffering, and suffering is real, and what emotionally, mentally everyone's going through, and I'm not trying to say I'm trying to save anyone or everyone, or I'm trying to change anyone. I believe that I can't save anyone, but I believe that I can do my best in where I can to influence someone to actually. So that's why the whole purpose, like I want to touch on Rig. The reason of Rig is not to change anyone. My purpose of this reel is to, because if you go on my Instagram, if you even look, it will say reminding people who they are. I'm only here to remind people who they are. That's why you have this infinite greatness. I talk about that infinite greatness. That's who you are. You have something that the world needs to know about. You have something that you need to leave a dent in this world before you go. And people need that thing because somewhere out in this world, some people are suffering because if you don't let that gift out, people will die. Yeah. And it's like you must be on the edge to let your gift out. Don't hold back because what the society is saying. You gotta step forward. And like you guys are saying, going through boundaries and going through places, you guys are putting your talents and gift out there for the uncles. Yeah. And that's one of the amazing things that people can do, If you have the gift of communication, use that platform and reach a lot of people. And like that. So somewhere in the world, and I believe that people are here for greater purpose and greater reason. And, I'm not a choosy religion type of person, but whatever you believe in, which is true to you, that's true to you. Yeah. So the reason, something that I'm trying to build out and do, I'm trying to build a mentorship program for young men to be on Zoom and all that for next year and all that. And I'm trying to do probably a 12 session once every 3 weeks. Anyone can jump on. And end of the 12 session will be around November. Should be a mega one. So I want to do a live event. I want to run a live event, get every young man in there, and the program that Kenny's gonna help me also co-host this will be called the Game Changers.
Wow.
And we also have a group called Game Changers. In our group, there's like 12, 14 boys, and that's all mostly cup and rugby players. And we got a WhatsApp group, and we post stuff around, and we motivate each other. Every time we go to game and we play each other, we talk about, well, let's go. Even though we were going to play each other, I was like, let's go. We talk about it in that group, And we go, and we did like 6 sessions already. So we did one to Kenny, we did some breath work and all that. And there's all these boys, young PNG men, coming together, actually doing breath work, meditation, all those stuff. And next year we're gonna go do something bigger than that, but we're gonna try because the people have time and all that. Yeah. And we're I'm trying to find a way that we can get them into this, but also do a build up to something bigger. So that's why I'm putting that mentorship out there for young men. Anyone can join up. Next year I'm gonna do it free. Next year and then following, I'm gonna charge. I'm gonna put a fee out just to help this build this platform and also build that mega event. That's right. Mega event coming up. So and then I'm bringing guest speakers and people. I'm not going to speak it. I'm not going to do that. But I'm bringing speakers in there, and then the goal is to raise champions, men to be men and stand up and let's show up for the world because the world needs men to show up.
100%, man. Round of put a round of applause in that audio for this. And that's Duncan's wise words right there. And yeah, as you heard, like, you know, Benton's doing this for the, you know, PNG men or any sort of man who's going through struggles and that. And that's something the uncles have also, we've also brought that up in some of the earlier episodes, just mental health.
Yeah, wow. So good.
Unpacking, you know, hard conversations. And I know we did a segment. I think we're talking about how, you know, what we think, you know, PNG could improve with and stuff like that. Some of the stuff we mentioned was, you know, about, you know, keeping women safe in the country, and I think there's a lot going on that. But personally, I think also it's on men to change as well.
100%.
And unpacking some of these demons, as you said, like speaking about these vulnerabilities, trust, and some of that similar stuff that you went through when you said you moved from Sydney. I mean, that's something that's crucial in a young man's life. You know, growing up, you don't want to push on that burden onto your kids. Or I think there's been intergenerational trauma and, you know, stuff like that I haven't really delved into, but I've heard that it can be fixed pretty easily with just some conversations.
Yes.
Some deep and meaningful. But vulnerability is where it starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, tune into Rig and get onto it. As he said, it's coming up, and the big one's in November next year. So that's a year's time, guys.
Fingers crossed. Come on, let's go. Let's do this.
I will be behind it for sure, bro.
Thanks,
we'll be
man.
behind it. Yeah. So I mean, that was about leadership. That was about Benton's podcast. That was about his plans, you know, moving forward in the next 12 months. Let's touch back into rugby a bit, or rugby league. So we talked about the Nines, Kokomo Nines success. You know, this year we fell a little bit short. But, you know, who were some of the guys in the teams, or even in the other teams?
Yeah.
Not just Muscle Eyes, but we'll start with Muscle Eyes. Yeah. But we'll move on to, you know, anyone else that you versed, or some of the teams that you saw that were really, you know, put their, you know, came out and have you know, put their statement out there with, you know, who they are and what where they come from, or, you know, those kind of things. And
now definitely. I mean, looking at all the teams that I was watching also and playing against, I mean, I think, I mean, I wasn't really focused in going there to actually trying to compete, you know. But it was, for me, that game compared to last year. That game was all about being, I can actually be around those boys and watch those boys are playing, and it was about fun and enjoying, you know, that football and meeting people from, you know, Sydney coming down and all that.
Yes.
Compare that like the Sikkins, you know, you know, a couple of mates playing, Kitcher and all that. I mean, you know, they're players, you know, they play, you know, cup level, they play BRL level, and, you know, you can see the way that it's inbred in them, you know. And that was good. But coming back to my team, I think Masalai, I think a lot of boys stood out. You know, that's the thing about coming to play for Masalai, man. Like all of them union boys, all of them, like, everyone just, you know, just want to be around other boys, and they want to have fun, and they want to talk, because, you know. And then I love that, and that was that spirit, like, you know, and all this. For me, the boys that let me say the boy, I was expecting some boys who stood up also, and I think for me, Kenny was actually, you know, beast mode, like he always does. You know, it was good having Willie there. Lastus is good too. Lastus is young man, but so much potential, man.
So much.
I you know, we have conversation once every 3 months, and then just over the phone, and just asking him how you doing in life, because, you know, people like that, you gotta invest and push and make them become better.
100%.
You know, so and I love the boys, and I, you know, had a chat with all the boys, and I mean, it's just, we have to build communities like that. It's rugby league, so I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like when it comes to rugby league, I don't feel like putting on the sport to talk about rugby league. I rather talk about life, or talk about other people, talk about things. But I like to keep my rugby stuff in a way where people don't know what I'm doing. It's like, it's not like people see that it's important. For me, it's not that important. You know what I'm saying? But I put 120% into what I'm doing. But I don't to tell people like, oh, I'm doing this, or I like to put it at the back and talk about things that are more important. And, so I don't know. It's just something. So that's why, like, when you said like I would love to talk about leadership, but I would hold back about giving my opinion about talking about rugby.
Gotcha.
In that terms. But apart from that, I can talk about. But it's just I'm just saying in that space of talking about rugby league. But apart from that, man, I feel like when I get I want to say this, when I get older and stop retiring playing rugby league, I'll still play my side. That's what I'm saying.
Good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's what we want to hear. That's awesome. And then that was a great answer as well. Very, very selfless answer. And again, it comes down to that natural, of, what you've been going through and what you've been trying to achieve as well as a, your personal growth, your development as a person. So, head off to that, and we'll lead on to other stuff. So. I guess, I know you don't want to talk about the rugby league itself.
You can talk about that.
But yeah, I mean, like...
Because you guys love talking about rugby league. Unkles, so I would love to actually say an opinion, but it's not the truth. It's not, I don't sit around like, who's playing good, isn't it? I don't see
of course.
I love to actually have a conversation around
Hey, that's respected and that's understood. So we'll move on to prediction for the PNG Unkles and Cook Islands game this weekend. Not so much who's a standout or who do you think is going to win, but what would, if you were a coach, if you were coaching the Unkles, what's going through your head at the moment?
Well, firstly, I reckon it's a really good selection side, regardless of what people say. People have their opinion, but I think the selection side, it's good. I feel like we got a really strong base team. Different mix and different. It's good to put things like that just to build a platform for Unkles. As a coach, for me, I think the most important thing is to let the boys enjoy. Enjoy the experience. Don't think about winning it. They say enjoy the person that you're probably gonna be together in that camp room when you walk into the field, and know the person like you and that person's on the island and not going anywhere. And spend time knowing that person. If you want to know someone, talk about things. I feel I would definitely invest in players that really have to be vulnerable at that level. Because I believe that if players go deeper or people go deeper in vulnerability in their attempts, I would, like for Kenny, me and Kenny always be vulnerable. When it comes to playing valleys, when I see someone, eat Kenny out, man, I'll let go of my body and not. Then the next one, make sure I'll be in the hospital, like that. Because me and Kenny go more deeper, Me and Kenny go more deeper than that because of our vulnerability that we shared for the last 2 years. So that I would definitely in that 3 days camp, let's spend probably 2 hours knowing ourselves more. Where do you want to go apart from rugby? What do you want to do in life? Where do you want to go? What's your goal after rugby? Let's talk about things like that. What business you're in? How can I help you and assist and add value outside of football? Because I want to do that, bro. I want to, I want to be around that space. Do you have kids? You have a wife? Now, could I have coffee with you and your wife? Like, I want to get you going. Those are the conversation that coach or the people or they should train players to actually be in that space. Because if you talk about things apart from rugby outside, you will build relationship deeper in. And when that stands deep, in that 2 days, you will see a game that never been played before. And I believe in that area of space that people don't talk about, players. So apart from that, as a coach, I would definitely try to find ways. I don't know the strategy how to actually do that, but I will find ways to actually put players in that sport. And I just want to do a shout out to Liam Horn, one of my mates, and Justin, also playing Cook Island. So the two of my boys, I just posted them on my social media today. So shout out to them. So
that's crazy good, man. Wow. Yeah, definitely. I think that's something I never really thought about. And then when you're talking about that, it sort of like brings me back to other memories of not just rugby, but things at work. And I think I know this is like personal, like what I'm going through at the moment. you sort of really realize who's got your back. But like
Yeah.
it's not those conversations that in the office. It's
Yeah.
when you're outside,
Outside,
and
yeah.
you know, hanging out. I think that's what you said. Like that connection grows, and you can really perform
100%.
on any platform, whether it's in the office, on the field, or even at home. So I think that also reminds me. Like I think a lot of men or Papua New Guinean men don't really get vulnerable with their partners,
So true.
and I think that's something that's missing with a lot of the relationships. I know it gets twisted sometimes. I mean, we have this male sort of dominant patriarchy, sorry, where men are men and men are supposed to be solid and like hide those emotions and stuff. But I think also getting that connection, like you said, you get like a deeper understanding of what someone's going through, or you get a deeper understanding of some things that you can understand, and then I guess come and help in your own way.
Yeah.
And I think that's something as a coach. I think you definitely nailed it there. So team building and stuff. I think that's what it is. That'd be a awesome thing. But yeah, man, Cook Islands, eh? Shit, Cook Islands and Comoros. Yeah.
Good game. Good game.
It'll be a good game to watch for sure. What time is it, guys? You guys?
I'm actually, like I said, I don't pay attention. I just see whatever pops up and plays. Oh, I'm not okay. I'll shut up.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, we also. I wanted to talk about. I remember. I think when. This is like going back a few years, so I know I wasn't here when Richard and you discussed this just before. But when you first came, were you in the Nines comp in 2016?
Yes.
Yes, you played with Western Red Dust.
That was a Perth team, yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
they were
right.
PNG Perth team.
I
yeah.
thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Well, I mean, you came back full circle, and you're one of the leading players now in the comp. So. Anyway, you said you weren't going to talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I love rugby league. I love putting my body in the line. I don't know. Probably, I don't know why I don't like. I don't like, but it's just
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, guys. Well, you heard it here. This segment definitely tune into Rig, rise to infinite greatness, and
thank you.
We will. We'll definitely see more of Benton.
100%. Just to finish off, I mean, it's an awesome thing to actually see people doing what they really, and especially in Papua New Guinea, and what people are doing and doing something positive, and a lot of people are coming out doing things like that. So it's really good that people should look at in a different perspective lens and say, you know what, these guys are doing something amazing. So a real shout out to the Unkles, man. You guys are doing something that I feel like you guys are talking about things from in PNG and what people are doing, but also giving a sense of reality to people to check what they're actually doing. Like, this is real, and then not just for PNG people, for the people around the world and people are watching this, that this is how PNG people are and what we are really, what we have in our hearts and who we are as a person. And a lot of people are here to judge and all that, but this is a world of judgment because of social media and all that, and it's okay. But as long as you can come out and be real, and something and that's the reason why I do what I do now as a Rig podcast. So, but apart from that, thank you, Richie. Thank you, you guys for actually having me. This is actually an honor to be here. So thank you.
No worries. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Too good.